How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another lesson today. This is Credit for Dropouts. I'm Josh. I'm here with my buddy Miles. And what we're going to show you right now is how to maximize your credit line. That means if you just got approved for a credit card that's only $3,000, how can we get that up to $13,000? Right?
Or $25,000.
Or $50,000, right? There's no limit. There's a limit eventually.
Or a million. No,
you can get up there. You can get pretty high. But the method that I'm going to show you specifically, this is one that I use myself that have passively gotten pretty much every single credit card I have had their limit raised without me needing to request it. There are other ways of doing it, and other people have other methods, but I'm just going to show you the one that's worked for me, the one that I like to use, and the one that I show my private students. And this is exactly how this one works. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is start building a relationship with the bank that you get approved for. So obviously I have pretty much every bank, so I have to try to build a relationship with every bank. But if all you have is Chase, you want to start building a relationship with them. Get to know the people that work around your area, talk to the business relationship manager, the BRM, if you have businesses, or just like the random teller, like always try to go see the same person. Like for me, my guy is Bryson. Every time I go into Chase, I look, if Bryson's not working, it's like, all right, I'll come in another day. But I try to make sure I see Bryson because Bryson knows me. And I can build a relationship with him, and the better relationship you have with that person, the more they humanize with you, the more they know who you are and what you do, then the more likely you are to get approval for things like this. But now that you've got a credit card, you're starting to build a relationship with the bank, you've been in there a few times, the guy knows you by your name, maybe even they're calling you to ask like how your account is doing and everything like that. The next thing you want to start doing is consistent spending. So if you're wanting to raise your Chase Sapphire Preferred, make sure you're consistently spending on it for at least 3 to 6 months. All right, and this is if you're looking to go apply for an increase. You never want to apply for an increase if you haven't been consistently spending on your card for at least 3 to 6 months. Because if the card's been sitting there for a while and then you go apply for an increase, you're like, you're not even using the $3,000. Why are we going to give you any more? There's no point for that. The other very important thing is if you are spending, make sure, I'm going to put consistent spending and paying.
You don't want to accrue debt on these cards and just, I want to increase. We haven't even paid back what you owe.
Yeah.
So what's the point of giving you more if you're
Exactly. Consistent spending doesn't mean go consistently spend $100 until your credit card's full. Consistent spending means use your credit card. What I like to do is pay for things I'm already paying for anyway. When I go out to dinner or like if I'm going to see a movie, things like that. Use your credit card to pay for that and then just pay it off right away with your debit card. And do this for like 3 to 6 months. The banks love to see this because when you're spending money, every single transaction, every single time you swipe that credit card, the bank is making money. Right? So the more you're doing that, the happier you're making them. Okay?
Yeah, they make anywhere from 2% to 5% per swipe. Mm-hmm. And if it's a luxury card, maybe a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I know American Express is pretty hefty a swipe.
Yeah, too. American Express, they make so much money on how many swipes they get, it's ridiculous. So consistent spending, and this is like organic spending, right? This is just things you're already spending money on anyway. Just spend it on your credit card. You're going to be getting rewards or cash back for it anyway. You're building a relationship. You're paying off your bills, and they're seeing, okay, look at this. This guy is pretty responsible with his money. After you've been doing that for 3 to 6 months, go ahead and feel comfortable to apply for an increase. Don't apply 1 month and then the next month and the next month and the next month. There are some people that say, every 60 days is fine. Me personally, I've never done that. I wouldn't recommend doing that. If you want to try that, go ahead. It's up to you. But I recommend 3 to 6 months.
And I had a card recently, my City Double Cash, for the longest time had a $1,500 limit. So, okay, I want to see how far I can get this. I requested an increase. Okay, boom, I got $3,000. And this was after 6 months, consistent spending. I do social media, so at the time, all my ads were on there. So it's very consistent spending. I'm paying everything off at the end of the month. So I go and apply for an increase, and I get increased from $1,500 to $3,000. So you can either leave it there, but what I did was I requested an increase with a hard inquiry. So I did a hard pull on my credit report. So it showed that I was looking for credit, but they gave me a $9,000 credit line from $1,500. So that's even just more for me. That's more bang for my buck when we talk about manufacturer spending. So subscribe for those later videos. That's a moneymaker card for me. That
Absolutely.
card's making me $500 to $1,000 without even thinking about it whatsoever.
That was $1,500 to $9,000?
Yeah, $1,500 to $9,000.
That's a good jump right there. See, and that's very possible to do. And If you apply for the increase and you don't get approved right away, there are ways to possibly get reconsidered for that by simply calling and negotiating with the reconsideration line. If you don't know what that means, you're in luck. We're going to come out with a reconsideration video and teach you all of that. We're even going to give out all of the backdoor reconsideration numbers. So please subscribe so you can get all of this information, and that'll really help you out. So the next thing you can do, and I recommend doing this constantly. This is, for me, the moneymaker. This is what has gotten every single one of my cards to raise the limit, is I'm recycling the MS, meaning I'm consistently manufacturer spending on my credit card. Now, we haven't talked about MS yet, which is manufactured spending. There is going to be lessons on it. Make sure you subscribe so you can see these lessons. But manufactured spending, in a nutshell, is looping your credit limit on your cards so you can get rewards. For example, when I manufactured spend, I have, so I'll use for an example my business card. When I first started my business and I started my Chase Ink Preferred card, they gave me $9,500 was my original limit. And after, I was spending pretty good for about 3 to 6 months, but I want to say it was probably after about 9 months, maybe not quite that long, of me consistently manufactured spending. They actually raised my limit from $9,000 to $25,000. Now, I woke up one day and I looked at my phone and I swear I thought it was glitched. Like, I looked at it, I was like, what? That's saying 25,000. I was like, oh my God, that's up to 25,000. They didn't even tell me. They literally just raised it for me one day. It was incredible. And that's how it's happened on pretty much every single one of my other cards. The reason for this, when you're manufactured spending, this gives you the ability to max out your credit card every month, but still get it paid off. So imagine what the banks think when they give you $9,000 to run your business. And not only are you spending that $9,000 every month, but you're paying it off every month. They're looking at you and they're going, wow, if he's making that much money that he can pay off $9,000 a month and still spend it every single month so consistently, let's see what happens if we give him $25,000, okay? Then, all of a sudden now, I'm able to scale my business, all right? I'm able to do more manufactured spending, and what I recommend doing when you get good at it, I don't recommend doing this right away. You know, start off small, work your way up, okay? Don't go out and try manufactured spending $5,000 on your first run. It's dangerous. Don't do that. Start slow, work your way up. But eventually, you can get to the point where you're maxing out your credit card every single week. Now think about what the banks are looking at. They're like, holy crap, we just gave this guy $25,000 to play with, and he's spending that every week, and he's paying that off every week. 4 times, he's spending $100,000 a month. Eventually, they're going to look at my credit card, and they're just going to raise it to me again, right? And I redo this method on every one of my credit cards, business and personal. When you're consistently doing this manufactured spending, they are going to see that as money in, money out. They're making money on that either way. They like that. They love it when you spend money. So if you're good at it, they're going to keep giving you more increases. Anything you want to throw in here?
Well, also, if you have any American Express charge cards, for instance, you can't get a higher limit unless you spend on it. It could be regular spending or manufacturer spending. Like for me, I just got this card a few months ago. I run all my ads on it. So instead of using my Citi Double Cash for ads, I use American Express Business Gold, going out to eat, restaurants, anything business related, I pay for it on there. So when I first got the card, it wouldn't let me spend more than $1,500. That was my limit. Now I'm up to $7,000. And my goal is about maybe 20 grand a month, or just a 20 grand line on the card. So just through consistent spending, you're able to increase your limits on charge cards. And my Discover It, I got it with 1,000, and just through MSing, it's up to 3,500 now. I've not asked for a limit increase whatsoever. Just every like 2 or 3 months, it'll just raise it $500, $700, $1,000 at a time.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add real quick too is American Express is the only bank that has charge cards. If you don't know the difference between a charge card and a credit card, you're in luck. Hit the subscribe button because we're making a video about it. But that's pretty much it when it comes to maximizing your credit line. Build your relationship, consistent spending that with money that you're already spending anyway, not only manufactured spending. You want to have a variety in there. All right, so you're spending organically, you're paying that off every single month. You either apply for the increase, or if you're like me, I don't like to do that because I was just like, you know what, they're going to raise it for me anyway. I'm not going to waste the hard pull. Keep recycling your MS. One day you're going to wake up, you're going to look at your bank, and all of a sudden your limit's going to be doubled or more. You know, like what it did for me. So that's it for maximizing your credit line, you guys. I hope you like that. We are going to jump into the next lesson now.
All right, thank you.